Well, it is time for Brady Quinn's playoff predictions. Doesn't quite have the same ring as Pete Prisco's playoff predictions, but here we are. We're going to start off by looking at his wildcard weekend picks here and who Brady believes will advance past the wildcard. We're going to continue to break down those games all the way down through the Super Bowl. So Brady Quinn here joining me on the desk, and we're going to work our way through this. So we're going to start off in the divisional rounds. So starting in the AFC, you had the Chargers beating the Jags and moving on to face the Chiefs in the AFC divisional round. You like the Chiefs there. Then the Bengals coming out on top against the Ravens versus the Bills, who you think will get the win over the Dolphins. So you're going to go with Cincy. So break down your AFC championship game between the Chiefs and the Bengals.
Yeah, Chiefs and Bengals, really to me, Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals have had Patrick Mahomes' number. And so and I don't know that you'll find a team that's playing better football right now in the AFC. They've won 8 in a row now. The offense is clicking on all cylinders. I think people are almost afraid to say it because of the season Patrick Mahomes has had since Mahomes is going to win the MVP. But Joe Burrow might be playing even better right now, might be the hottest quarterback in the NFL. The defense has been improved from a team that went to the Super Bowl just a year ago. So I think they've got Kansas City's number. And I think that's a team that Kansas City in some of these playoff games, as good as they've been, they always get to the AFC Championship game. It's about who they're facing, how they match up, if they can beat them. The Bengals can go toe-to-toe with the Chiefs. And I think they once again return back to the Super Bowl this year.
All right, we're going to look at the NFC side now. So the Giants getting the win over the Vikings, facing off against the Eagles, and you're sticking with Philly there. Then the Bucks with the win over the Cowboys on Monday night, facing the Niners, who you claim will defeat the Seahawks. So we have the Eagles against San Fran in the NFC Championship.
That's right. I think when you look at the NFC playoff picture, obviously you've got some big spreads. There's some teams that I'm not going to say don't belong. They've obviously earned the right to be there, but maybe are outmatched at this point. The San Francisco 49ers are the hottest team in the NFL. They've won 10 in a row. Even though they have a rookie quarterback starting for them, they're not putting him in a position where he has to go win the game for his team. And I think the one example we do have of that, the Las Vegas Raiders game, he was able to deliver. So the bottom line is, with the addition of Christian McCaffrey, this offense is as dynamic as it gets. Deebo Samuel is getting healthier. He'll come back and factor into this mix. And they got the number one defense in the NFL. So I love the chances of the 49ers, Kyle Shanahan, figuring out a way of finding their way to the NFC Championship game and then taking on the Philadelphia Eagles, who only have to win one game. Now, that's another team that's got a very deep roster. I know there's some questions about Jalen Hurts and his health and how it's all going to plan out. He's got a couple of weeks to heal up. I think they find their way to meet the San Francisco 49ers, and we get an NFC Championship game in Philly, in the conditions. And at the end of the day, I think the 49ers are that team that's going to be able to run the football effectively. Purdy's going to be able to do enough to be able to get the 49ers into the Super Bowl. We're going to see a Bengals-49ers Super Bowl matchup.
Did you think he would say that at the beginning of the year? Purdy's going to do enough.
Look, the reality is, we've already seen Jimmy Garoppolo get there with a similar formula. A great ground game, solid defense, not asking to do too much, and that almost won them a Super Bowl, if not for a big play by Patrick Mahomes, obviously, to Tyreek Hill. So I think they've got all those same components. I think if you look at their roster too, the amount of all-pro caliber players they've got on offense in particular, it's as loaded as it gets. So they just need him to manage that game, and when called upon, make a few throws here and there.
Yeah, they're going to set him up for success there. Okay, so you laid it out there. You think San Fran versus Cincinnati. Who's going to win the Super Bowl?
Here's the crazy thing. We hear this guy here at CBS talk all the time about how Joe Burrow is going to win 2 Super Bowls in 10 years. That's 2 years after the fact now.
Yep.
And he keeps denying he said 2. He said 2. He actually said multiple. Someone could take that as more than that. But our friend Pete Prisco will never pick the Cincinnati Bengals to win a Super Bowl. It's crazy. He's not picking them this year. He's picking the Buffalo Bills. And trust me, in my heart, I hope that happens for the Buffalo Bills. But here's the problem. You're facing Joey B. Joey Cool. He's got everyone's number. And I think this is the year, that window that's open that Joe Burrow talked about, it's open his entire career. This is the start of the Super Bowl run for the Cincinnati Bengals. And look, growing up a Browns fan, it pains me to admit this. And playing for the Browns, it hurts to admit this. But it's going to be the Bengals. I think they're going to win it all. No one's playing better than Joe Burrow right now.
The Bengals reached the Super Bowl twice in the 1980s, losing both times to San Fran. And, of course, we have last year Cincinnati still looking for that first Super Bowl victory. One thing, I feel like HQ should be renamed like something with Pete Prisco, because we talked about him this entire
Well, if you actually look at the eye and you see that circle, right? There's not any hair on it. That's basically Pete's head. So that's how we look at it.
This entire hour has been all about Pete Prisco. Just fun there. All right. Well, thank you, Brady, for your picks. We always appreciate you here on the desk. And it all starts this weekend. 2 games on Saturday. On Sunday, the Dolphins will face off against the Bills. Miami, they're playing without Tua, playing in the NFL postseason for the first time in 6 years. While the Bills, it is such a heartwarming story there. The entire country really behind them. They're in the NFL playoffs every year dating back to 2019. They're playing with heart, that's for sure. That's 1 p.m. Sunday on CBS, and that will be also streaming on Paramount+.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.